This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out. Hey guys, today we have Valentin Kocher-Benzing. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you right now, man?
I'm right now in Monterrey, Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay, so for those that aren't familiar with Bangkok, where is that nearby?
Where Bangkok is?
Yeah, well, in Bangkok and Monterrey, where you are at, like, where is it in relationship to, like, the airport, for example?
Oh, I actually really don't know because I just went after arrival. I just had to go right into the van. Uh-huh. So I think it's like probably from the Suvarnabhumi airport. It must be around an hour, maybe.
Okay, so 1 hour. And so they're doing you're doing like a quarantine hotel in Bangkok. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, because I'm currently not vaccinated, so I have to do mandatory 10-day quarantine here in Thailand to be able to stay here.
Okay. So, and you had like a layover in Dubai or some shit, right?
Exactly, I had a layover in Dubai, right, for 3 hours or something.
Oh, that's not bad. You got off the plane and got right on to the next one, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty awesome, though.
Perfect, man. And you flew out of Frankfurt?
I went from Frankfurt, exactly.
Okay, I've been through that airport a few times. It's very nice there.
Yeah, it's nice and huge.
Yes, yeah, and good food and good beer in there too.
Yeah, and German beer always.
Yeah, always, man. So, I guess let's get a little bit into like who you are. So, where are you from?
So I'm from Germany. I'm born in Stuttgart. In the very south of Germany, and I lived also in the very south of Germany. I went to another city, then it's called Konstanz, which is at the Lake of Constance. It's one of the biggest lakes in Europe. Pretty nice in summer, and I'm from there, and now since 2020, March 2020, I'm all around the world, actually, doing Muay Thai, traveling, teaching seminars, doing private sessions, and committed my life to the lifestyle and to the sport.
Yeah, good, man. I can get down with that, as you know.
Yeah, sure.
I know we haven't known each other that long, but and how old are you, Valentin?
At the moment, I'm 28 years old.
28, man. Good time to be doing what you're doing. It's good age.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, perfect,
100%.
Man. It's actually, you're the same age as Eric.
Yeah. Oh, really? He's also 28?
Yes, he's 28. So, it's you guys are like perfect age to be doing what you're doing. So, I met you in Monterrey, Mexico. You were fighting on the MT800 tournament down there, and I remember I was like totally fucking shocked. I was like, oh, someone who speaks English down here. I was so happy.
Same.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I've just been hearing Spanish, and I know you were training in Tulum. Is that correct?
Exactly. I was training with the Ferals for around 1.5 months.
Yeah. How did you end up there?
It's pretty funny. So I went back to Europe after 1.5 years being in Thailand to visit family and teach seminars. And then actually I plan to go back to Thailand after like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
But in August, the situation in Thailand was still not good. You couldn't predict when the stadiums open again. You basically couldn't predict anything.
Yeah.
So I was like I was like thinking of Eddie and Brooke because I saw that they're in Mexico and they're like trying to settle down and they're teaching Muay Thai and they can get you fights. But basically, it was a night that I had a dream about staying in Mexico, being in a restaurant with them, eating tacos, and going to fights. And I was like, okay, I want to go to Mexico. And then I messaged Eddie and then I asked him, I told him my situation, that I actually want to go back to Thailand, but you cannot predict when there are fights and if he could get me fights and everything. He said, like, yeah, basically you can fight every month here. And if you want to fight boxing, you can fight like every week because Mexican boxing is really popular. So I asked them all the stuff that I needed to know, and like 3 days later, I booked a trip with my friend.
Yeah, and then that's how you ended up in Mexico, huh?
Exactly, that's how I ended up in Mexico.
And then, so you went over there, and how long have you been training Muay Thai in total now?
So I started my journey in combat sports and martial arts in April 2017. So that's like nearly 5 years ago. But I started doing K1 and boxing. Trained proper Muay Thai. I trained proper Muay Thai actually since 2020 March, when I arrived in Thailand to stay here.
Nice.
So not long. I would say like in total probably 1.5 years, a little more.
Wow. Okay. Well, that just makes what you're doing down in Mexico that much more impressive.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I was coming to Thailand as a tourist before in 2018. But yeah, you know, I was the first day training, second day I was drunk on a party, riding a motorbike, had an accident, couldn't train for the whole 2 weeks. Then went back to Thailand 2019. I was actually scheduled to fight end of August. Then I had like nearly 2 weeks. I was training a couple of days with Sanctinoid, and I went to Koh Samui. And then I had another accident. Oh, man. So unlucky. And I couldn't do the fight, and only like another 3 weeks of training. So I really started training proper Muay Thai and properly Muay Thai in 2020.
Okay, and just for anybody that might be listening on here, motorbike accidents in Thailand are pretty freaking common. Like anywhere in like Southeast Asia, motorbike accidents, especially with foreigners. I mean, how many people do you see get into accidents while you're there?
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
You see people every day, literally every day. But you have to say that the traffic, especially in Thailand, is horrible.
Oh yeah.
It's really horrible. It's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Like it's not even your fault. It's just because someone is like giving the sign turning to the left and then they turn to the right.
Oh, well, that's like, that's pretty typical of like American driving though. So
Oh, really?
Man, yeah, people
so you're already familiar with it.
Yeah, man. I go to Thailand and I actually feel safer because people, like, when they change lanes, at least they go a bit slower. Like, they don't just, like, shoot over with no signal. At least, like, they go slow, you know? But it is
right now?
Yeah, it could be a bit chaotic, though. I completely agree with you, especially coming from a place like Germany, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we are traffic Nazis, bro. Like, we are really traffic Nazis. we watch every fucking rule. The only thing that we have is that you don't have any speed limit on the highway, mostly.
Damn.
That's the only thing. But we have so many rules for everything, and most of the people they stick to the rules.
Yeah. Well, I have a few friends that are German. My stepmom, she actually lived in Berlin for 19 years, so she's told me all about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, cool country. I haven't had a chance to really go over there and explore much myself. I spent more time in Scandinavia and Norway.
Amazing! I want to go to.
Oh man, yeah, the nature there is freaking. You have a nature-gasm every single day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
I guess we met in Mexico at the MT800 tournament. Tell me a little bit about how you ended up on that and what that meant for you.
Okay, so crazy story actually. I'm a kind of a fighter. I'm actually you could call me short notice fighter. I during my amateur career and now also as a pro, I mostly take all the fights short notice. Same with MT800. I had the first fight in Mexico that was an amateur Muay Thai bout on the 5th of November, and I arrived the day before. So I was jet lagged. I was fucked. I had to do weight cut and everything. And after that fight, I took a couple of days off. I got sick as well for a couple of days, and then I started training 2 weeks before the show of MT800.
Yeah.
So a week before the show, Eddie messaged me. Eddie Farrell, he's the coach and gym owner with his wife of Tulum Muay Thai, where I used to train before. And he asked me, hey, you want to fight next week? Because I kind of annoyed him all the time because I really wanted to fight and I wanted to turn pro very soon because I have sponsors and everything, and I felt like I have to give something back to them. And so I nearly asked him like every day for a fight. And then he finally messaged me and he was like, yeah, you want to fight next week? I was like, yeah, sure. Without even asking who, what weight, where is it, blah, blah, blah. I was like directly, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, where is it? And then he was like, yeah, sweet, it's in Monterrey. I was like, okay, well, where the fuck is Monterrey? Oh, that's fucking... I don't know, like you have miles, we have kilometers.
Yeah.
It's like 2,000 kilometers. I don't know.
Yes, it's far. Yeah. You can go by kilometers. Kilometers is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then he told me the weight, and I was like, ooh, currently like 76 kilograms or something. So I was a little bit overweight, and it was just 1 week left. So I immediately started cutting weight, still training hard for like a couple of days. I accepted the fight the week before. And then I went there with my friend Julian, German guy that you also met. I met him also in the camp. Yeah. I didn't know how he's going to be in my corner and stuff like that. There were so many uncertainties. Yeah. And then when I arrived, I was like, before the day I accepted the fight, I didn't know that it's a tournament to fight for the car. Yeah. At first, but then Eddie told me, and I got excited and nervous at the same time. I was like, okay, bro, like actually, like I think you're doing a little bit too much because it's your pro debut. You fight for a car, and then I told my friend, I was like, you know what? Even if they would give me the champion of Mexico, I wouldn't care. I would just do my best and try to smash him. And then we arrived in Monterrey, and I asked the people that picked me up, they were also from the WBC. I was like, I don't know my opponent yet. Do you know who I'm fighting? And they were like, oh yeah, you're fighting with Oscar Magayan. I was like, okay, I don't know who Oscar Magayan is. And then we looked it up, and they said they also said then, oh yeah, he's the current WBC champion of that weight division. I was like, oh, okay. Not bad. Yeah. And I didn't study him at all. Nothing. I didn't watch any videos. I think the gym maybe knew before that I might be facing him because the opponent pulled out or got sick or whatever. I don't even know the reason. Yeah. But they were searching an opponent for him. Maybe they didn't tell me because they knew it's my pro debut. Maybe they didn't knew themselves. I don't know. Yeah. But I went then there, and it was like 4 or 5 kilogram under my usual weight that I was fighting. I was fighting before 75 kilogram. That one was 69.8. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it meant a lot to me because first of all, it was my pro debut. Second of all, I was fighting the champion of Mexico, and I was like, okay, that's a crazy story. And then after the fight, I was like, wow, I'm still trying to, how you say in English, like trying to make my mind after that, trying to realize what actually happened in the last 3 months, that I was just fighting, I was just going 5 rounds with the champion, and I enjoyed myself every second. It was like amazing. So this fight means a lot to me. It was probably, or it is probably the fight that I'm gonna always remember my whole life. Like people say, mostly you remember a lot of from your first fight, but no, I remember so much from this fight, and it means the most at the moment because I was able to show technique of my gym in Thailand.
Yeah.
And was able to honor my teacher, and just being there means so much to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you really lucked out. That promotion, he's probably one of the better promoters, in my opinion, in Mexico for Muay Thai. I've known them for quite a few years now. And seeing, like, and I don't know if you know this, that if you would have beat him, that he would have been forced to vacate his title.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's the way
I was just joking around that I'm gonna take his title.
Yeah, you wouldn't, since it wasn't a title contest. But what the rule is if a champion in WBC Muay Thai loses in any weight division, they vacate their title.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's the rules and regulations, I believe, in the WBC Muay Thai. If you go read it, yeah, because I was curious about that too, because I knew that, and I went because our fighter Eric is in the tournament too. I'm like, like what happens if he, loses? And I was like, oh, he vacates his title, which means someone else could contest for it later on.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I want to have a rematch next year, 100%. I was texting with my coach Moses Sankinoy here from Thailand, and he said he wants to prepare me for a rematch and hopefully fight for the title if possible. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely they're all about having those big drama shows in Mexico. I mean, I'm sure you saw the drama on in the ring after the event with Eric and his opponent and stuff too, huh?
Oh no, not really.
No, man, well, because it was I think it was a split decision. And they were trying to contest it and trying to ask for a rematch. And it's like, well, it's a tournament. You guys can rematch later. And it was just...
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the guy he fought had like over 100 fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were like... Huh?
I think he's a coach. I think the guy that Eric fought is a coach of one of the gyms in Monterrey.
Yeah, no, he's a coach. I don't know. No, he's from Mexico City.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
he's from Mexico.
But he was a coach, I think.
Yes, yeah, he is. He coaches. He fought against this guy that I fought before in Mexico City, and that's how I knew who he was. And I'm like, this guy has a lot of experience. But
oh wow, great.
Yeah, it was good. Same thing for him, pro debut, and it was like, there's a lot to take in when you're going into those scenarios. You're just like, fuck, you're in a different country. You're fighting, some tough ass Mexican fighter who are known for having a good fighting spirit. You're like, okay, and then you're in their hometown. It's it's a lot, when you yeah. So and we ended up meeting because you're like, hey man, like, can you tape my hands? It's like, yeah, sure, I got you. So
that was so cool, really fancy. That was amazing.
Of course, man. Yeah, I've been there before. Like I've been in Mexico before, where I had to tape my own fucking hands and just go. So that's part of the beauty of Muay Thai, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Muay Thai. Is you get crammed in the
seem like you don't really get paid.
No, you just do it for fun, man. It's funny because I guess I was reading up, and let me check up on this. So. Let's see amateur, because I saw something amateur. So amateur is one who engages in pursuit, study, science, or sport as a pastime rather than a profession. So one of the other definitions for amateur is you're a devotee or admirer. So like it's something that you do because you're devoted to it. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're not a professional. So amateur, I was just reading this earlier about like the Latin origin of it. Let me see this. Sorry, I'm looking it up because I know it was something interesting, and I thought it really played into it. Ah, there it is, right there. Okay. One who has a taste for some art, study, or pursuit, but does not practice it. From French, amateur. One who loves or lover. So it's like it's something that you're doing something because you love it, not because you're necessarily getting paid for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
it does.
And I think that's something that a lot of people, where if you think about it in that sense, because this being from Europe, when it comes into fighting, it's the same in Mexico too. You could fight in amateur tournaments, amateur fights, and you could fight professional, and then you can go back to the amateur stuff too. So it's because because
it's with protection.
Yeah, and it's for the love of the sport and to get better because you enjoy fighting. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I guess when you came into this tournament, and now that you're going over to Thailand, what's the goal for you in Thailand now?
So the goal is, I have to get back to the camp first after my quarantine, and I'm going to talk to my coach. We have to see how the situation goes with COVID, of course, worldwide. I have a lot of goals here. So first of all, I need to figure everything out for visa and stuff like that. And then I want to try to get back to training in February, start doing fight camp preparations. Mm-hmm. And then I want to fight as soon as possible. I'm up for anything, anywhere. If I get a good offer, I would go to Europe to fight and then come back to Thailand. I want to fight in Thailand as much as I can. I want to fight Super Champ, way hardcore. Probably I could fight end of next month in amateur boxing. I have to get vaccinated first before I can fight pro here, unfortunately. So.
Oh, really? They made that mandatory there?
Most shows it's mandatory. If you want to fight Lumpini, you also have to be vaccinated. They have MMA show coming up. You were already talking about it, I think. And,
yes.
And also for this event in Lumpini, you have to be vaccinated.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna do the Chinese or the Sinovac that they have in Thailand?
Oh no. No, fuck no. No. I can just drink liquid and water then,
Yeah. So are you...
Yeah, I'm trying to get Pfizer though.
Oh, okay. Do they have that available over there now, or are you going to go back to Europe for it?
They do.
Okay.
They do. No, I'm not going back to Europe. Fuck Europe though. Right now, Europe is a mess.
Yeah. Hey,
and it's winter.
Oh yeah. I can't imagine. I know winter Europe. Say no more, man. So, do you know Matt Lucas?
I don't know him in person. I don't know him in person, but I know about him. I know that he's very popular and that he has a great knowledge of Muay Thai, and that he's living here, I think, for many, many years already.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot about him, but unfortunately, I never met him in person.
Oh man, he's a good friend of mine. He's actually in the Muay Thai community Discord server. If you ever,
I saw.
So I would highly recommend, as a foreigner being in Thailand long term, he's a good resource to connect with. And he's over at the Fairtex Training Center in Pattaya. So once you get settled, I would recommend reaching out to him and just go, even if it's like a weekend trip out there, you take the bus out to Pattaya and go see him. I think it would be worth your time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would do that.
Yeah.
100%.
So,
thanks so much.
Of course, man. Yeah, and connect with him on Discord. He's super cool guy. He's, he'll admit to this. He's kind of weird, but he's super friendly. Yeah.
I heard that he's very honest.
Yes, yeah, he's very transparent. It's like, if you suck, he'll be like, "Hey, why are you doing that? You suck at that."
Yeah, but that's good. I don't like the Thai style
smile,
way of communication too much.
Yeah.
Like telling you everything is good, but your technique looks shit.
Or they smile and they're like, yeah, it's fine. And then they're talking shit about you behind your back.
Yeah, it's fine, that crazy Farang.
Yeah, you're going to do great. All right, place the bet on the other guy, okay?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. So, how did you end up at Seng Tien Noi's gym the first time?
Short notice, like everything.
Yeah.
It was very spontaneously. So it was the year 2019, and I was in my apartment hanging around with my ex-girlfriend by that time, and I was watching his documentary on YouTube, which aired in July 2019, I think, and it was July 2019. So it was pretty new, the documentary on YouTube. And I watched it, and I was amazed by it. And then I was following them on Instagram, and Pipuk is his wife. She was doing the social media stuff, and she followed back, and I was like one of maybe around like 85 people that they were following, and I felt so honored. And then I told that to my ex-girlfriend, and she was like, "Why don't you text them, because you have 3 days in Bangkok when you arrive and you still don't know what to do," because I booked Muay Thai holiday, Muay Thai vacay with a little bit more touristic gym in Samui, on Koh Samui. And I also already paid for the hotel and everything. So I had only like 3-4 days. And I was like, okay, actually, I heard that Bangkok is a cool city, but like after 5-6 days, you gotta go somewhere else because it's just way too much. Now my opinion changed a bit. I like Bangkok.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just messaged them then, and I asked if I can come for training, and then go to Samui afterwards. And then I stayed there for 3 days at first, and I loved it. I fell in love with the family. I fell in love with the training. I was like, if you ever live in Thailand, this is exactly what you need. Hours and hours of training, eating and sleeping, training. That's all you do in camp.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved every second. And I was so impressed because he took time, like probably 1 hour, 2 hours every day that I stayed there to explain his technique to me. And he didn't even charge me any extra or something.
Damn.
And I was impressed because I knew that usually Thais don't really do that.
Yeah.
They teach you, but they want to have a private session booked.
Yeah.
To teach you all the little things, all their knowledge, and he just did it. And also, at the last day, we were sitting together, and I took notes of his technique. Basically, all the notes, I kept them. I still have them. Basically, all the notes were the base for my seminars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's crazy what developed. And then I went to Samui, and I stayed in Samui. I had an accident, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I extended my stay in Thailand for another 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And I had another day in Bangkok before leaving Thailand, and I didn't want to go in the hotel. I was not able to train because I had to go in the very early morning to the airport. But I still decided to sleep over at the gym without even training because I just liked it. And then in the morning, Moses took me to the airport, and I went back to Europe, and I got depressed. Like maybe most of the people know that feeling when you leave Southeast Asia or Thailand and you come back to your Western reality. You're like, fuck.
I know that all too well, man.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. And then I was thinking about Thailand all the time and about them, and we kept in contact. We messaged. They were like, "Oh, we miss you." I was like, "I miss you guys too." And they're like this with every student they have. And I was like, okay, I gotta make up a plan. I was still studying in university. I was like, fuck, next year I wanna go there to this camp, but longer. But I was like, okay, I'm a student. I cannot really afford it. I don't have sponsors. By that time, I didn't have any sponsor. I didn't have any money on me. And then finally, I went to Thailand 2019 in March with just 700 euro in my pocket. And I went then to Koh Samui because I couldn't afford being in the camp. I asked them if they might take credit card. They're like, just cash. I was like, okay, shit. I can't even ask my mom, you know?
Yeah.
And I ended up being on Samui for a couple of months, and then finally I made it to get some money to stay in the camp for 2 months.
Nice.
And then I went back in October after a boxing fight. I went back to the camp and I stayed 2 months. Then I used to come back actually in February 2021, but then we had again another COVID wave, and then fights were off, and Pu'u and I, Sangtino and I, we were calling, and he was like, oh, it doesn't really look good. Maybe you can come next month. I was like, okay, I try to come in March then. And then I applied for a Fight TV reality show with the WBC Muay Thai, but it was from Master Toddy. And I got accepted for that TV show, and then it should start actually beginning of May. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come in April 1st, the fourth wave of COVID.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think that was through WMC, yeah? Or WMO?
That was WBC, actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that was for WBC Muay Thai, actually. But bouts never happened.
Yeah. I remember hearing about the reality TV show, but I didn't know it was WBC thing.
Yeah, it was WBC actually,
Cool.
But it was not too good, and I left the show earlier. And then the fights also, the bouts didn't even happen.
Yeah,
but it was not because of WBC.
No,
it was because of that.
Yeah, it was the shutdowns. Obviously. Yeah, shutdowns and stuff. They were trying to
and some other things that weren't really working well, I would say.
It happens. They were trying to make something happen and take a risk. Well, so
yeah, but it's a difficult time for stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna go over there. How long? Are you trying to stay over there for a year? I know you're talking about maybe going back to Europe and coming back. What are you trying to make Thailand your home base?
Yeah, actually, since March 2020, Thailand is definitely my home base. I was just in Europe to make some money to visit my family after being away for 1.5 years.
Yeah,
that was super necessary. Still have grandma, I wanted to see grandma and stuff like that. There were a couple of birthdays, and my friends. So Thailand is definitely my base. I'm gonna try to get a visa to stay between 9 and 12 months. And then I'm just gonna have a look. I want to try to go to Europe regularly, every 2 or 3 months, to be able to see my family.
Yeah.
To make some money in between with seminars or even a fight, if possible. And of course, seeing my friends.
Yes.
But I want to stay for the next couple of years in Thailand, if possible.
Yes.
Because I think for my Muay Thai career, for my sports career in general, and for me as a person, Thailand is the best. I'm the most happiest. I'm the happiest when I'm here. In Europe, I don't really have the same feeling. I'm getting annoyed by most of the people. Not my circle, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Not the people that I connect with through the sport, but just in general, people walking around, their heads down, their faces are annoyed, and I can't really take that too much,
Yeah, it's depressing.
So I love Thailand.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
It's depressing. I was nearly 2 weeks in Europe. The day I arrived, I was like, fuck, I gotta leave.
Shit. I'm out. Bye, guys. Yeah. Like you said, that feeling you get when you come back from Southeast Asia, that fuck. Yeah, I can relate, man. I've been going to Thailand since 2008. I remember my first trip. Wow. I came back and I was like, fuck, man, how do I get back there? Everything got formulated. Exactly. Yeah, everything got formulated. It's how can I get back here and how can I do this more? I got very lucky. I had a Thai trainer in LA and I moved a block away from his gym with one of my training partners. It became my roommate. Wow. And just train with him as much as possible. So, take those opportunities and those connections while you can, because they're not always there.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And also, when you go back to your country, you compare everything with Thailand or Southeast Asia, and you just freak out because food is not as good and it's super expensive. You're like, how is that possible? Why am I even spending so much money on food? It shouldn't be like that.
You know, I will say this. You know, the prices of food in America until recently were not that bad, but it's definitely have gone up with the whole supply chain issue we've been having here in our country. And but it was definitely it was still very much, you know, much more affordable in Southeast Asia compared to America. Especially Germany too, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, you know, talking about Germany and stuff like that. Let's back up real quick. In Germany right now, what's the whole situation going on in Germany with like shutdowns? Is there training going on? Is there fights? What's happening over there?
So it really depends also on the state. We have different regulations. So in general, we say we have the 2G regulation rule. That means all vaccinated and all recovered can enter everything. Can go to the restaurants, but the only tested people not. So if you're not vaccinated right now, in Germany, you have the asshole card. Let's say you even have to get tested. So if you don't want to take a test, you're not allowed to use public transportation.
Oh shit!
First of all, they want to make it mandatory to. They want to make vaccines mandatory in probably a month or two.
Yeah.
Plus, in my state and in my city, we have the rule 2G plus. That means that if you want to go to the restaurant, you have to be vaccinated or recovered. Plus, you need a test if you're not boosted. And if you are recovered, like I'm recovered, and my certificate is from August. So that means if I want to go to the restaurant, I have to get an antigen test first. Luckily, those tests are for free again. The government provides it.
Yeah.
Before, they did that too, but then they stopped. They were like, okay, we have now the rule, only tested, recovered, and vaccinated people, they can go to the restaurant, they can go to the gym, and blah, 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 blah. And then they stopped giving the tests.
Yeah, you had to pay for them.
You had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And the people were like, fuck, what's that for? Like, fuck off. Now I want to go to the gym and I have to spend like nearly a gym membership
to go one time. Yeah, to go for one time. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's still training going on. I think in some parts, so right now it's January. January is not a very busy month usually with fights in Germany.
Yeah.
But I saw some shows that they want to do something, but I also saw many shows that were like, okay, we're going to postpone it until further notice because with the current regulations, we cannot really make
money. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to make money out of an event anyway.
Yeah.
But now it's even harder, you know? So, yes, there's training going on. Mostly non-vaccinated people are not allowed to train.
Wow.
They're not allowed to stay in the gym. I mean, there are gyms and coaches that don't really care.
They kind of look the other way. Yeah.
Exactly, but if people find it out or someone just reports to the police, we have very strict regulations and consequences for that, like up to jail. Yeah.
Wow.
So you have to know yourself if it's worth it, you know?
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's shit. It sucks.
Yeah.
It separates the people. It separates society. Everyone should be able to work out because it's about your health, right?
Yeah, and I
think you should work out.
Yeah, and it's more and more showing, like, if you're taking care of your physical health, your chances of being severely affected by COVID is much lower. I mean, you can make the argument, like, hey, go outside and work outside, but that's kind of hard to do when it's fucking snowing out there, man.
Exactly. Like my old gym, we lost the place that we stayed in 2019. And then the whole winter 2019, beginning of 2020, we were training outside every day. Even with fucking snowstorm, and I don't know, whatever. We were training outside because our coach is an old Russian, so he didn't really give a damn.
Yeah, he's like, this is how I grew up. Come on, guys, suck it up.
Yeah, he was like, you're a fighter, you gotta train. We don't have a place, so we're training outside. You still want to fight? I was like, yeah, of course I want to fight. He was like, okay, then just come to the training every day. I was like, okay.
Damn.
But it's just a huge risk of getting sick and everything. And as you say, it's not the best to train outside in winter.
No.
In summer, it's another story, but in winter, no.
I did that shit in Norway last winter. That was not fun.
Yeah, especially Norway. I mean, in Germany we have usually a lighter winter, but in Norway, oh no.
You're sitting there and it's like, oh, it doesn't look that bad out, and then you go outside and next thing you know it's like a snowstorm. There's like half a meter of snow, then it stops, gets sunny, then it starts raining. all in the span of like 3 hours, man.
Britain.
Yeah, it's all in the span.
Like Britain, kind of.
Yeah, just a little bit more extreme, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, damn, man. Well, how can people find you and kind of follow your journey?
They can follow me on Instagram. The best is actually Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram, it's Valentin _ Kocher _ official, or just probably type in one day. And people can follow me. I mostly actually follow back as well.
Okay.
I don't really care about following too many people or something like that. I mostly follow people back. People can message me. I usually respond to every message because I don't want that people think one day I'm going to be like arrogant or some shit like that, you know? And I just also like to communicate with people. Like if people want to know something about Thailand, about staying here, about the gym or something, they can always message me. I'm really happy to share my experiences and to share what I know.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, and I know you're in the Muay Thai community Discord also, and you're on there as one day, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect, man. Well, definitely, if you guys are on here, definitely go check out Valentin. Great person, and active. Obviously becoming active in the community internationally, which is not that big of a community. So I know I'll probably end up seeing you again in person. I'm trying to get out to Thailand in like April. I'm just hopefully allegedly Songkran's gonna happen again. So we'll see about that. And but maybe
let's see if it really gonna happen.
Right? Yeah. But I have a feeling it'll be a little bit more predictable on the travel stuff right now. In regards to like quarantine times, testing, all that stuff. I think it's going to be a little bit more like, hey, I'll probably have to do like 2-week quarantine or whatever it is. Just that way I can plan my time, you know? So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, like if you're vaccinated, you can just do the Phuket sandbox for 7 days. You can walk around freely after your first test. They're going to do, I think, same with Koh Samui, Koh Phangan and Koh Tao, because those tourist destinations desperately need
people,
tourists and money.
Yeah,
exactly. They need people. I think after Songkran, maybe they're gonna close down something again, because also last year, due to Songkran traveling, then they put some more restrictions in place, and the third or fourth wave. I don't even remember it.
Whatever wave, yeah.
Still until now, you know. So I think the best is to get into the country before Songkran, definitely. Yeah. So you might be able to experience it. I never experienced it until now because there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Let's see if they have if they celebrate Songkran, because if they do, it's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And everyone should really experience that at least once in their lifetime.
Man, I got to experience it in 2019, the last one before all this shit went down, man. I was so grateful for it. Yeah, I was like, whoa, it's so amazing. I can't wait to go back to it. Then just boom, fucking, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and now we're here 2 years later.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you spending the time to come in here and coming on the community Discord and stuff like that too. Definitely, keep us updated on there and everything too. Always make sure to reshare your stuff. And yeah, man, stay in touch.
For sure. Thank you so much for the invitation for Discord family.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what is that? And I went in there. I was like, oh, that's cool though. I'm gonna tell a lot more people.
Sweet.
About it. They're usually always like a little bit like, what is that? Can I click on the link? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Just do it.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you in person. Thanks again for taping my hand.
Of course, man.
My hands.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing. Also, there's another way to support us. If you guys visit our Patreon link, it's in the show notes. Also on our YouTube, if you go to pmtlifestyle.com, there's a Patreon link up at the top. You can support us for as little as $5 a month to get some behind-the-scenes footage, things of that nature, to see what we're doing behind the scenes for Pu'u Muay Thai, what we're trying to get going. Also, you can get some early access clips. You can also get t-shirts, merchandise, and a few other things as perks of being a patron. Again, go check that out. It's at pmtlifestyle.com.